What made me realize my boyfriend wasn't working late but funding another woman's entire lifestyle? I'd been dating Marcus for 2 years, and we'd been living together for 8 months. He was always talking about this promotion at work, how he needed to put in extra hours to impress his boss. I was so proud of him for being ambitious. He'd leave every morning at 7 a.m. and sometimes wouldn't get home until 10 or 11 p.m. completely exhausted. He'd collapse on the couch saying things like, "Just a few more months of this grind and we'll be set." I felt guilty even asking him to spend time with me because I knew how hard he was working for our future. The weird thing was, his paychecks never seemed to reflect all these extra hours. But Marcus said his boss was making him work overtime without pay as a test of commitment. Red flag number 1 that I completely ignored. He was always tired. I started doing everything around the apartment because I wanted to support him through this difficult time. I even picked up extra shifts at my job to cover more of our shared expenses since he was investing in our future. Then his laptop started acting up and he asked me to grab some work files from it while he was in the shower. I opened it up and there was a folder right on the desktop labeled Receipts 2024. Thinking it might be work expenses, I clicked on it. What I found made my stomach drop to the floor. Dozens of receipts from expensive restaurants, the kind of places Marcus had never taken me. Hotel bookings for romantic weekend getaways, couples massage sessions, wine tastings. Every single receipt was dated during his supposed late nights at the office. I kept scrolling and found receipts from jewelry stores, flowers delivered to an address I didn't recognize, lingerie purchases from Victoria's Secret, expensive perfume from Sephora, all of it adding up to thousands of dollars. Money that apparently came from somewhere because these weren't credit card receipts. These were debit card receipts, meaning he had cash for all this. My hands were shaking as I kept looking. There were Uber receipts showing rides to parts of town I'd never been to, parking receipts from hotels, restaurant receipts with itemized bills showing 2 entrees, 2 drinks, like he was living a completely different life. The most recent receipt was from just 3 days ago. Dinner for 2 at this fancy steakhouse that cost more than our monthly grocery budget. I heard the shower turn off and quickly closed the laptop. Marcus came out humming some song, looking more relaxed than he'd been in months. I asked him how his day was, and he launched into this elaborate story about staying late to work on quarterly reports and how exhausted he was from the long hours. I sat there listening to him lie to my face while knowing he'd actually spent the evening at a 5-star restaurant with another woman. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the times I'd felt sorry for him, all the nights I'd made him dinner and had it get cold because he was working late, all the weekends I'd spent alone while he was supposedly at the office, all the times I'd suggested we go out and he'd said he was too tired or we needed to save money. Meanwhile, he was spending hundreds of dollars on romantic dates with someone else. The next morning after he left, I went back to his laptop and took pictures of every single receipt. I found her Instagram through one of the restaurant locations he'd tagged her in a story months ago. She was beautiful, successful, and based on her posts, they'd been seeing each other for at least 4 months. She thought she had a boyfriend who adored her enough to spoil her with expensive dates. When Marcus came home that night, I had printed out every receipt and laid them across our coffee table. He walked in, saw the papers, and went completely white. I asked him one simple question. "So how was work today?" He tried to lie again, started talking about meetings and deadlines. So I picked up the receipt from the steakhouse dated that exact day and asked, "What time was your meeting at Morton's Steakhouse?" He broke down immediately, started crying and begging, said it wasn't what it looked like, that she didn't mean anything. He'd met her at a work conference and it just happened. He swore he loved me and wanted to work things out. He'd end things with her immediately if I'd just forgive him. But here's the thing that broke me the most. When I asked him how he afforded all these dates, he admitted he'd been taking money from the joint savings account we'd been building for a house, the account I'd been contributing to while picking up extra shifts to support his goals. I moved out that weekend, and 3 months later I saw on social media that he'd moved in with her. Turns out his promotion story was real. He just never intended for me to be a part of it.